Hey guys, welcome to my video. Today I'm going to go through and teach you guys how to loot. Now there's a few different looting styles. Today I'm going to be using the gyro to get around. It's not the most efficient for everything, and there's definite pros and cons. Some of the big pros about the gyro are it's going to be a lot easier to get away from other players on PvP servers. You can just dip into the top and get out. The cons are it's a little bit more difficult. If you clip your vehicle, you got to pick it up, which means you can't quite use the storage inside the gyro. Whereas like the 4x4, you can just drive around, just have a ton of ladders, and then just ladder up the side of a building. Yeah, so this is going to be one of the apartment buildings. Real easy to just gyro up top. It's not that difficult to just ladder up the side either, so that time-wise you're not saving a ton. But the other thing that I really like about the gyro is that you can see where you're going and you can pick what POIs you want to hit next. Whereas on the ground it's a little harder to get an idea of what the entire town looks like and really map out like an initial loot run. So for this particular apartment complex, you want to get the rooftop, you want to jump back down here, grab that weapons bag, and then I already grabbed the hidden stash right here. There are landmines sometimes, so you're going to need to shoot those. This little stair thing isn't normally there, someone placed that. It's a cool idea because you can sneak around the whole thing, but then you're looting even slower, so I'm not the biggest fan of it. So I'm just going to be cutting between clips of different POIs I'm hitting, and just give you an idea of how to loot those specific POIs, and then just also kind of give you an idea of how to position the gyro properly. You don't want to always be holding W when you're using the gyro because it just makes it a lot harder, but you do want to constantly be tapping W and throttling, otherwise when you jump out you'll have zero momentum. If you have zero momentum, the gyro will fall like a rock. The butcher shop's great, especially with the gyro because everything's right on top and it's got a nice flat roof. If you've noticed what happened here, these two boxes, they were searched previously and left with stuff in them. So I had to pull out the initial stuff that was left, wait about 2 or 3 seconds, and then they became untouched again. And then I was able to re-loot them. So just make sure to figure out what sort of loot respawn time your server has, or what sort of, if it has any loot respawn at all, as that'll change how often you want to be able to do these runs. As for gear that I take with me, I'm wearing a full steel set. I've got an AK, which I'll eventually use later in the video. I bring melee item. I like the sledgehammer, especially for sneaking around and whatnot. If I'm in a fight with more enemies, the club is also really nice, and it's very cheap to make, especially early game. You just need some scrap irons. You just find something and scrap it. The issue with the sledgehammer is it's real slow, and if you don't have the knockdown skill, it's not gonna help you against larger groups of enemies. It's really only good if you're sneaking up on one enemy. Right now I'm about to hear the cop vomit, so I'm gonna just jump down, and then secret stash. I have Parkour 5, so under skills you really want Parkour, so that you have that extra jump height. And then you're also going to definitely want to get the anti-stun resist one, as getting stunned will definitely lead to an early death in this game. Doing a little bit of inventory management. You really need to kind of memorize what you're looking for and what you're going to dump, and definitely like the safe spots. I've looted this building enough that I know I could chill right here next to that secret stash for probably, like an hour before the zombies finally beat their way to it. So here are the landmines I was mentioning earlier on the other one. So the cop's going to try vomiting at me, so I'm going to run perpendicular to him. I'm going to get up top. Landmines out of my way. I've stepped on those before. It's no fun. And then, the hidden weapons bag. There is sometimes that safe right there, but it's not always there, and I don't know, it's not really worth my time at this point on like a speed looting run to bother breaking it. Yeah. As for like the looting skill, it's real nice to have, but definitely not necessary. The loot isn't going to get significantly better by having higher looting. The main benefit is the speed of the looting, and that also, if you're enough of a tank, when you get hit, it'll auto finish a loot anyways. So it's not always the biggest deal. So yeah, so this is this is the under construction high rise. I like to drop in from the top just because this one is a little bit of a pain to run from the bottom. There is a way to parkour all the way up, but it's a little annoying. I have maximum of like in the shadows, so even though I have heavy armor, I don't wake this guy up, even though I jumped in behind him. It wasn't really necessary to kill him, so I apologize for wasting all of our time, but you know, it was something I did. Yeah, just make sure you're constantly scrapping the items you don't need, or you'll see later my inventory management gets a little backed up when I drop down, as I didn't scrap stuff mid-flight, and all of these little iron pieces that I don't need for anything just slowly start cluttering up my inventory. This is where like the 4x4 would definitely have a better time handling, is you could be dropping the loot inside it. The gyro has space for loot, but on the off chance you need to pick it up because it gets stuck on a railing or something, you know, you don't want to be having to drop a chest, put your whole inventory, pull out the inventory from the gyro, pick the gyro up, replace it down, refill its inventory, and all that. It's just such a pain, so I typically don't use the inventory in there, or if I do, it'll just be as close to the end as possible, or just like if I'm moving stuff and I know I'm not going to have a chance of hitting something and getting my gyro stuck. But as you'll see later, that's also not something you always have control over. Yeah, so again, especially for the apartment building that we just hit, there are those zombies that spawn on top of it if they are being particularly nasty. Don't feel the need to loot the roof of the building immediately. If you need to drag them off the building and circle around a few times, like don't feel like you're any less of a looter for that, you know, like it's all about getting it done quick. Yeah, as for experience, for the first 20 levels, your best bet is going to be killing zombies. Looting gives you like 1 experience on your first few levels. It's embarrassing. And then from level 20 and onwards, if you've statted in strength, which if you're going to be killing zombies, highly suggest, you'll have the ability to just mine until about level 80 to level 120, where looting will be your most lucrative thing after that. Sometimes all of the farmhouses have really good loot in the loft, so I'm gonna swing around this one, drop down on the roof, and show you where the loot is. I don't know why, but sometimes they seem semi-overlooked, just because, you know, they're not like one of the other major POIs, but they have, you know, not the hardened chest, but the reinforced chest, as well as a weapons bag and 2 or 3 of the brown boxes. The platform that's in between here, you can, if someone kindly placed frames for me, but you can actually jump and use that, or you can scoot and crouch along the edges of the roof here. There's like a little bit of like a half block of wood. He tried to do it and he fell. The zombies will always fail when they try to walk across those sides, but you can crouch. It's a little annoying because sometimes you'll fall, so I typically try to jump through the center, or as someone kindly placed frames, I'm just going to utilize those. There's usually a bunch of hay in the bottom of here, but then there's also a hidden stash. And as you can see, Parkour 5 just makes everything so much easier. I can just drop down, check that, and then just very quickly jump all the way back up and make it back over to my gyro. As for weapons, definitely melee and bows are going to be probably your go-to for a very long time. Ammo efficiency is kind of key, and this is super embarrassing. I just recorded a video on how to fly gyros, and I mentioned to refill every time. And of course, I didn't refill my gyro when I hopped in it the past couple times, and now I am falling to the earth. This is incredibly dangerous, especially on a PvP server, as the best I could do is leave my gyro mid-air by hopping out, tanking the fall damage, and trying to fight from an open field, which is just all sorts of bad. And you know, like, people will follow gyros with like bikes, motorbikes, or any other vehicle is actually going to be faster than it. The only benefit the gyro has is, you know, being able to see farther, being completely silent, and not having to deal with terrain. This is a bonus takeoff. This is the best takeoff ever. It started very poorly, and then it went even more poorly when I hit the rock, and then it turned into the most clutch takeoff ever, which I thought was pretty awesome. But it also turned into the most short-lived takeoff ever when the map decides to stop loading for me, which is ultimately pretty unfortunate. And yeah, there I go, stuck in the molasses. Don't keep trying to fly through, or don't ride like your bicycle off the edge of a map. It'll really lag up the server. Just make sure to land and pick it up, or jump off, and the map should continue loading. These, I think they're called barbarian villages or whatnot, have a really good chance of giving you, well, the pill cases have a real good chance of giving you beakers. So I always make sure to stop by these guys. There's a lot of zombies, so I'll punch these 2 blocks out, and then just, you know, there's maybe only 2 or 3 zombies that chill inside this room, typically. So I'll just be able to very quickly loot this, and yeah, get what I need to get and get out. Yeah, as for flying the gyro, just make sure you're stuttering it. You're not holding W down the entire time, but don't let go for an extended amount. Make sure you're at least tapping it to maintain a little bit of forward momentum. And then also, as you see here, I'm making certain before I run in to get that semi-risky gun safe that I have enough room for everything. If you're not running around with enough room to grab what you need from a loot spot, it can be really detrimental to being able to loot quickly, get in and out safely. So as you see there, it's nice and smooth. Alright, well, that is all for today. If you guys have any questions or would like to see anything else, just leave me a comment and I'll try to get back to you. Thank you very much, and have a good one.